Greetings, seekers of forgotten truths. Welcome to Mythos Unveiled, where shadows of the ancient world breathe anew. Today, we descend into the tempestuous skies of Greek mythology to unravel the enigmatic tale of the Harpies, creatures of paradox, embodiments of divine wrath, and silent keepers of cosmic balance. If the echoes of their wings stir your soul, do not forget to like, subscribe, and let your voice soar in the comments below. Tell us, which mythical beings haunt your imagination? Kings, warriors, demons, angels, or creatures like the Harpies? Now let us begin. Origins, born of thunder and starless night. In the primordial chaos before gods claimed dominion, the Titans ruled. Among them was Thaumas, whose name meant wonder, a deity of the seas, awe, and terror, and Electra, the amber-haired Oceanid, her tears the first rain. From their union sprang the Harpies, Aelo, stormwind, Ocypete, swift flyer, and Seleno, darkness. Yet, some whispered of a fourth sister, Podarge, fleet-foot, whose fate tangled with mortal steeds. The Harpies were not born monstrous. Early hymns described them as winged nymphs, their voices melodies that calmed storms. But as the Olympians rose, so too did the Harpies' purpose twist. Zeus, forging his order, cursed them to become hounds of the gods, half maiden, half vulture, claws like sickles, wings blighting the sky. Their beauty remained, but it was a beauty that froze blood, eyes like molten gold, feathers iridescent as oil on water, yet breath reeking of decay. The Harpies' realm, between mercy and cruelty. Their domain was the liminal, the space between justice and vengeance, life and starvation. They served as escorts of the damned, guiding souls too wretched for Elysium. Yet their most infamous role was as punishers of the guilty. When King Phineus of Thrace, a seer blessed with divine sight, abused his gift to reveal Zeus' secrets, the Harpies were unleashed. Phineus' torment was poetic. Every meal he touched, the Harpies descended, snatching the food mid-air, defiling the remnants with their excrement. He withered, a king reduced to a skeletal wraith, until the Argonauts, Jason and his crew, drove the Harpies westward. But even this rescue was a divine script. The Boreads, winged sons of the north wind, chased the Harpies to the Strophades Islands, where Iris, rainbow messenger of Olympus, decreed they would no longer plague Phineus, so long as he starved. Here lies a lesser-known truth. The Harpies wept as they fled. In fragments of lost plays, their screams echoed. We are the teeth of fate, not its mind. They hungered not for food, but for absolution. The Harpies' secret faces, mothers, oracles, and forgotten cults. Beneath their monstrous veneer, the Harpies hid roles lost to time. Podarge, coupling with Zephyrus. The west wind, birthed Belias and Xanthus, the immortal horses of Achilles. Their hooves carved destiny into the plains of Troy. In Arcadia, peasants left offerings at shrines called Harpii, seeking their aid to cleanse blighted crops. To these forgotten worshippers, the Harpies were purifiers, their filth a perverse fertility rite. A cryptic Delphic text claims Seleno once perched on the oracle's shoulder, hissing prophecies too terrible for mortal ears. The Pythia later gouged her eyes, screaming, "The Harpies' truth is a mirror." The dusk of wings, how the Harpies faded. As Greece fell to Rome, the Harpies' essence splintered. Virgil reimagined them as portents of the underworld in the Aeneid, their talons snatching souls. Christendom demonized them further, conflating them with the sin of gluttony. Yet in remote Anatolian villages, old women still scatter ashes to the wind, murmuring, "Harpia, take our guilt, and let the rain come." Their end? There is none. The Harpies linger, in the gales that topple ships, in the silence before a lie is exposed. They are the itch of conscience, the rot unspoken. To see one is to see the self unmasked. The Harpies and the heroic tapestry, beyond Phineus. While Phineus' torment remains their most infamous tale, the Harpies wove themselves into lesser-known threads of myth. Consider Aeneas, the Trojan hero, in Virgil's Aeneid. As he sails toward Italy, the Harpies' leader, Seleno, curses him with a prophecy of hunger so severe his men will eat their tables before founding Rome. This curse, often overshadowed by Aeneas' later trials, reveals their role as enforcers of destiny. The Harpies did not merely punish, they enacted the inevitable, their claws etching the fates' designs into mortal flesh. Even Heracles, in his fourth labor, crossed paths with the Harpies. To capture the Erymanthian boar, he traversed Arcadia, where farmers spoke of winged women that stripped orchards, bare after sacrifices were neglected. Heracles, ever the pragmatist, left a goat's carcass as an offering. The Harpies descended, gorged, and spared the region, a rare truce between hero and monster. This tale, fragmented in Hesiod's Astronomia, hints at their duality. They could be appeased, but only through acknowledgement of their power. The Harpies in art, from temple reliefs to Christian triptychs. Ancient artists dared not depict the Harpies in full. On a 5th century BCE Corinthian vase, Aello is rendered as a spectral blur, her wings swallowing the scene's light, a visual metaphor for their role as consumers of clarity. Yet in Roman mosaics, they gained grotesque detail, distended bellies, serrated beaks, eyes hollow as ash. These depictions reflect shifting fears. No longer divine agents, they became avatars of moral decay. By the Renaissance, the Harpies morphed again. In Botticelli's map of hell, inspired by Dante's Inferno, they guard the wood of suicides, their talons entangled in knotted branches. Here, they symbolize eternal recurrence, the soul's. Punishment mirrors Phineus' endless hunger, a loop of desire and denial. A lesser-known fresco in a Cretan monastery portrays Seleno as a sorrowful angel, her wings chained to a rock, weeping over a desecrated altar. The inscription reads, "Where the harpy falls, the earth remembers." The cult of the storm eaters, forgotten rituals. Beyond Arcadia's shrines, clandestine cults venerated the Harpies as manifestations of primal forces. In Cyprus, initiates of the mysteries of Thaumas fasted for 3 days, then consumed rancid meat, blessed by priestesses wearing vulture feathers. The ritual, called Nymphs, cloudbreak, aimed to invoke the Harpies' cleansing storms. Participants claimed visions of winged women tearing corruption from their souls, a violent enlightenment. In contrast, Thracian tribes practiced harpiomantia, a form of divination. A drugged shaman would lie beneath a disemboweled goat, inviting the Harpies to feast. The patterns of their feeding, which organs were devoured first, were interpreted as omens. Herodotus dismissed it as barbarous folly, but modern scholars suggest it parallels ornithomancy, bird divination, framing the Harpies as intermediaries between chaos and order. Philosophical shadows, the Harpies as existential metaphors. The Stoics, notably Seneca, saw the Harpies as embodiments of uncontrolled desire. In letters to Lucilius, he likens them to insatiable cravings. What is gluttony but a Harpy's feast? You grasp, it vanishes. You hunger, yet persist. Later, Nietzsche, in unpublished notes, scribbled, "The Harpy's scream is the sound of truth. It devours our illusions, leaving only bone." Existentialists dug deeper. Camus, in the myth of Sisyphus, could have framed Phineus' torment as the absurd hero's plight, condemned to eternal hunger, yet defiant in his survival. The Harpies, then, become the absurd itself, inexplicable, relentless, yet perversely vital. As Camus wrote, one must imagine Phineus' content. Modern rebirth, from poetry to pop culture. The Harpies' resurgence in modernity is as conflicted as their myth. T.S. Eliot's The Wasteland references them as bats with baby faces, choking the air of post-war disillusionment. Conversely, Marvel Comics reimagined them as alien gladiators, their tragic backstory lost to sensationalism. Yet nuanced portrayals persist. In Neil Gaiman's Sandman, a harpy named Thessaly coldly dissects humanity's fragility. You build temples to reason, but pray to us when reason fails. Similarly, a 2023 indie film, Feast of Shadows, frames them as climate change allegories, unstoppable forces, punishing humanity's greed. The director, in an interview, noted, "The Harpies aren't monsters. They're the Earth's immune response." The unanswered question, why do the Harpies endure? Psychologist Carl Jung theorized they represent the shadow self, the repressed hunger society deems monstrous. Their wings evoke both freedom and predation. Their female form, fertility and decay. In dreams, They signal unresolved guilt, a need to confront what we've devoured. Ecologists, meanwhile, link them to scavengers like vultures, nature's recyclers. Reviled yet essential, the Harpies' vilification mirrors humanity's discomfort with death's necessity. As one scholar phrased it, they are the universe's janitors, cleaning the stains gods and mortals leave behind. Will you answer the Harpies' call? If these layers of myth and meaning have captivated you, ignite the like button and subscribe to channel the whispers of antiquity. The comment section awaits. Do you see the Harpies as villains, victims, or vindicators? Which mythic archetype mirrors your own shadow? King, warrior, or stormbringer? Farewell, keepers of the eternal flame. As we close this chapter, remember, the Harpies are mirrors. Gaze into their eyes, and you'll see not monsters, but the unflinching truth of what we devour and what devours us. Until next time, wander wisely, for the skies are never empty. Farewell and dare.